love money?
I love it.
Right. Do you think dressing up pays off? Then get ready for the all-new Let's Make a Deal. Weekdays at 3:30, KIRO TV has got the touch for some fast wheeling and dealing. Join Monty Hall for a venture in some risky business and cash in on a fun-filled afternoon with the all-new Let's Make a Deal. Weekdays at 3:30 on KIRO TV, Channel 7.
Funding is one of the most important concerns of our educational system. It determines the direction of our educational programs. Hello, I'm Gary Justice. The Washington legislature has been asked to increase the amount of money that a school district can raise by levy. The state currently allows a levy to raise funds equaling 10% of the money that a school district gets from the state. But many districts say that's not enough, that they rely heavily on the funding, that some educational programs suffer because of tight budgeting. So educators want the limit on levy funds raised to 15%. The reason for the limit was to ensure a standard level of education among all districts. But the current limit is actually hurting some districts, they say, with a real need for money. The new limit was seen as a more realistic one, and the increase could mean the difference between offering a class or canceling it. This is one of the educational issues that our legislature will be looking at next year.
The Sonics take on Phoenix, 6:30 Wednesday.
Now, KIRO Eyewitness News, the news specialist. With John Marler, Susan Hutchison, Wayne Cody Sports, Harry Wampler Weather. Live from the newsroom in Seattle, KIRO Eyewitness News Update.
Good evening. A Seattle man pleaded guilty today to a string of assaults and burglaries committed last spring. Testimony in the trial for 28-year-old David Jackson was scheduled to begin this morning, but Jackson changed his plea from innocent to guilty on 5 of the 7 charges against him. One of those charges was first-degree assault against former self-defense instructor Pi Bateman. Bateman's physical wounds have healed, and tonight she spoke with Anita Williamson about what she felt then and how she feels now.
2 weeks out of the hospital, Pi Bateman was writing thank you cards to people who had expressed concern for her after she was almost killed in her home. She came home one afternoon last May and was met by a man carrying a knife. The man forced her into the kitchen, slashed her repeatedly, ransacked the house, and left Pi bleeding on the floor. She almost died from the attack. 8 months later, the big glasses are no longer needed to hide the scars, and Pi credits her karate training for making it possible to eventually disarm her attacker, David Jackson. But she says at the time, she did have another choice.
Well, you know, we fought right through my kitchen, which was in about the same shape as it is now. As a matter of fact, I think I had that knife that's on the cutting board was right on the cutting board, and all of those were there, and I never went for one of those to go after him.
Bateman's actions are in sharp contrast to Bernard Goetz, the so-called New York subway vigilante, who shot 4 teenagers who allegedly tried to mug him. Goetz returned to New York a hero. Half of the New Yorkers questioned stand behind his actions. But even though she could have avenged her attacker, Bateman says it never crossed her mind.
There's something so outside of my reality that would make it possible for a person to do that I can't see myself ever doing it. I don't know. I don't know what went on in his life that made him be the kind of person who could hurt people the way he did. Maybe he deserves some compassion. He's not going to get it from me, but he also won't get from me. He won't get my anger from me because he doesn't deserve that either.
Bateman plans on going back to work in a couple of weeks. Her only thought about David Jackson is that the longer he's in prison, the better it is for everyone. In Seattle, Anita Williamson, KIRO Eyewitness.